Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for Elden Ring. My name is Ventus, and in this Elden Ring guide video, I'm going to give you the first 5 things that you should do when starting Elden Ring. Alright, so after you finish the tutorial zone and you're out in the open world map talking to the White Mask, do not kill him. And if you did, start over because you'll need him for a quest later on. That's not discussed in this video, but it is detailed in another one that I have posted on this channel. Please check the end screen for that video. Lone Wolf Ashes. So the first thing you need to do after talking to White Mask is to get the Lone Wolf Ashes. Lone Wolf Ashes are 3 NPC ghost wolves that will help you fight enemies. To do this, first head to the Church of Ella, seen here on my map, but do this by avoiding the tree sentinel that's in plain sight after talking to White Mask. You can do this by going wide west or east. Either way, don't attempt to fight the tree sentinel yet. He's harder than the first boss of the game, and you will need levels to tackle both. Once you get to the Church of Ella, activate the Site of Grace there, and then head north to the Gatefront Ruins Site of Grace, seen here. Now, don't try and take on the enemies at the Gatefront Ruins just yet, however. Once you activate the Grace Site, talk to Melina, and get the Spectral Steed Torrent. After you do, use the map and teleport back to the Church of Ella's Site of Grace, which will take you to a nighttime scene setting where you can find Rena sitting by the Site of Grace. Talk with her and tell her you can summon Torrent, and that gets you the Lone Wolf Ashes.
Greetings, travel. This way, tarnished. May I have a word? I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
The Twin Sword. The second thing you should do is to go get the Twin Sword from the Dragon Burnt Ruins. You can only get the Twin Sword if you have Torrent because you need him to jump over the walls of the ruins protecting a staircase leading underground. Teleport back to the First Steps Site of Grace where you talk to White Mask, then head east to the Dragon Burnt Ruins seen here on my map. Once there, head to the southeast corner of the ruins on the back of Torrent to a broken building and hop one of the low walls, and then head down the staircase and open the chest that holds the Twin Sword. Lord Sworn's Great Sword and new armor. The thing that you should do now is head to the Gatefront Ruins and fight the mobs that are there. There are 2 weapons for you to get in this area, a flail and the Lord Sworn's Great Sword. You'll need the Lord Sworn's Great Sword to have an easier time defeating the first boss. The sword is actually nearby the Gatefront Ruins Site of Grace in a chest guarded by a soldier. Inside the ruins, the soldiers are all fairly easy to defeat except one soldier with a shield and a spear. Try and fight him alone if you can by drawing him out. Be careful, allowing soldiers to see you from a distance will cause them to sound a horn and alert the entire camp to your presence. Farm this camp until you have the full set of armor that drops from the soldiers defeated there. Also, collect the fire butterflies as many times as you can because you're going to need those to craft fire pots, which can be used as thrown weapons against the first boss. Whenever you level up, increase your vigor and endurance stats. Alright, so the best way to take out this camp is to start at the Gatefront Ruins Site of Grace and defeat the soldier that's guarding the carriage that holds the Lord Sworn's Greatsword. Summon your Spirit Wolf Ashes to help you fight all the mobs there. The next mob you should fight is the one that's just walking up and down the street leading into the camp. Defeat him, Don't let him sound the alarm because he'll call out for the entire camp to come and attack you. And then fight the one that's sitting by the fire with the fire butterflies. Don't forget to grab those fire butterflies though. And then fight the soldier that has the shield and the spear with the help of those spirit ashes. And then after that, you can take care of the rest of the camp because they're all fairly easy to defeat. The only problem with this camp is fighting that guy with the spear and shield. You can't fight him. I mean, you can, but he's very hard to fight if he's in a group. So you definitely want to make sure that you have him isolated and alone and use those spirit wolf ashes. Bloodflame Blade Incantation. The third thing to do is to get the Bloodflame Blade spelled. This is an incantation you can use to apply a spell to your weapon that will make it deal extra damage as well as inflict bleed on enemies. You will need a finger seal to activate this spell, so if you did not start out as a Confessor class, you'll need to purchase a finger seal from the round table hold at the Twin Maidens seen here. The Bloodflame Blade spell is located a few minutes away from the gatefront ruins site of Grace, past the location of the first boss, but you can get there by torrent, taking this route to the Rose Church in Liurnia of the Lakes region. Be sure to access every site of Grace along the way and just avoid all the enemies if possible. There is a merchant along the way as well. Stop there and purchase smithing stones. You're going to need those to increase the strength of your weapon. You get the incantation by killing a scarab just north of the Rose Church Island.
accomplished, aren't you? Then, believe it or not, I studied for a small... Well, bless you. You're a true... My name, presuming you're interested, only... Apologies, friend. I'm afraid mine... Oh, right. I can tell you what... You've seen that That's the... Only it's no... After they did the academy, as you might have guessed, making entry, and so I'm stuck. When they come... Why not find without one, and you'll never... And if you find it, once you've... Would you... I know it, but still...
You're new around here. Surprised you. No matter. Why don't you... Oh, but don't. Oh.
Groveside Cave. Head into the Groveside Cave to get the Cracked Pot and the Fire Drake Talisman, using the Lone Wolf Ashes to help you with the boss of the cave that will give runes to help you level up. Outside the cave is a mushroom. You need those to craft fire pots. Collect the mushroom before you go into the cave, and again after you complete the cave. Next is the Stormfoot Catacombs. Just west of the Groveside Cave is the Stormfoot Catacombs, outside of which are a few mushrooms to collect right outside the door. Head in and complete the cave using the Spirit Wolf Ashes to again defeat the final boss and getting those rooms to help you level up. Grab all of the glove warts inside the cave because you can use those to increase the level of your Spirit Ashes. Once you defeat the final boss of the cave, once again collect the mushrooms outside the cave, as well as going back to the Groveside Cave to get another mushroom that grows on the outside. Create fire pots and only use them for the first boss Margit. Continue to increase your vigor or stamina with the runes that you get from the bosses you're defeating. Alright, so the next thing you should do after that is go and craft fire pots. Now, in the Groveside Cave, there should have been a cracked pot for you to collect, and then you can also purchase another cracked pot from the merchant at Church of Ella, and then you can craft those using mushrooms and the fireflies from the camp at the gatefront ruins. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I did this boss the first time, I used all my fire pots, like, before I even got close to defeating the boss, and then I could go back and keep crafting, which I did for a while, but I kind of got bored of doing that until I figured out I better just find a way to learn the boss's attack patterns. So my advice to you is to don't use those fire pots like at all until you have a pretty good understanding of how the boss works, how it moves, and where you're supposed to dodge. Like, fight it maybe a dozen times, and then by like the 12th time you should have a good understanding of its attack patterns. That's when you start using those fire pots, because you're gonna need just an extra boost to like kill it. Alright, the final thing in this video is to fight Margit. Before heading to Margit, head to the Round Table Hold and talk to the smith. Then run back to Roderica and then reload the Round Table by teleporting there again. You can now visit her next to the smith, and she has the ability to strengthen your Spirit Ashes. She may also give you a Jellyfish Spirit Ashes, which are good for keeping a boss's aggro, so use your own judgment on which Spirit Ashes you'd like to increase, one or the other, but you can't increase both. You can, but I don't suggest it. Use all of your glove rewards, the glove rewards that you got from that cave. Use all of the glove rewards to increase one of those Spirit Ashes by talking to Roderica at the Round Table Hold next to the weaponsmith. Alright, so if for whatever reason you're in your Round Table Hold and you don't see Roderica, Roderica is the woman who is wearing the red cloak or the hood. If she's not there, that means you probably still have to go interact with her. When I was making this video on my New Game Plus, I didn't have to go interact with her at the Stormhill Shack. So where you have to go is to the Stormhill Shack, and here's that location. Once you talk to her, she's going to go back to the Round Table Hold, and that's when you go and talk to the smith, who's going to have an option to ask about Roderica, and then you go and talk to Roderica, and then once she tells you everything she can about the Master Hedwig or Huwig, whatever his name is, that's when you reload the round table hold just by teleporting there again from inside the round table hold. Like stand inside the round table hold, pull up the map, teleport back to the round table hold. That's reloading the area. And then you can go to the spot where she's going to be next to the weaponsmith, and you can increase your spirit ashes there. But you must have the right type of Gloverwort, which you probably got from the cave at the Groveside Cave or the Stormfoot catacombs. Now, once you do all that, you can head to Margit the Fell Omen and take him on. Now, before you commit to using your fire pots on him, like I said earlier, fight him until you understand his attack patterns. When fighting him, be sure to use the Lord Sword's Greatsword with the Bloodflame Blade incantation in conjunction with as many jump heavy attacks as you can, usually whenever his aggro is taken by the Spirit Ashes. Now, despite you having very low health for this fight, Margit is actually like the easiest boss to fight in the game, if I'm being honest. Usually a dodge roll to the left or right will let you avoid most of attacks. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, it's probably going to seem really hard because you don't understand what the attack patterns are. But just trust me, once you defeat this boss, you get a better understanding of the game and how to fight, you're going to realize that this is like super easy. When I first did it, I was like, this is way too hard. But a lot of dodges left or right will let you defeat him. Now, why I keep telling you to use jump heavy attacks on this thing, alright, is to break its stamina. Jump heavy attacks, picture it like this. There is an extra stamina bar next to Margit's health bar that we can't see. There are some tools that some YouTuber that plays on PC, he was able to find it, and he was able to show this bar. Every attack that you do on this boss and any boss reduces this stamina bar down by a little bit. Alright, but this stamina bar fills back up like a few moments after you like attack it, right? But to make that bar go down a lot, you use two-handed swords, great swords, and jump heavy attacks. That takes the bar down by a lot. And if you keep doing these attacks, getting that bar down, it's going to break the boss's stamina, and they're going to be disabled, and they're going to go on their knees, and that allows you to do a heavy attack on it, a critical attack. You can do a critical attack on it by walking up to it when it's bent down, pressing the light attack button, and you're going to do heavy, serious damage to it. And then this boss is so weak, you might just kill it. I don't know. Alright, so just remember, jump heavy attacks. And remember, if you are having a hard time fighting him, you can always head back to the gatefront ruins and defeat every enemy there as many times as you need, refreshing the area, going back to the gatefront ruins, site of grace, go back and fight them again, and raise your vigor or endurance. One or the other. You don't really need to raise your strength that much because you want to have knowledge of how to fight the boss. Just by going and steamrolling it, you won't really learn anything, right? So go and fight the boss as many times as you need to, or fight the mobs at Gatefront Ruins as many times as you need to, and raise your level. That's the good thing about this game, is you can raise your level. Now, for me, whenever I first played this game, I had a hard time defeating this first mob area. So whenever I did it, I wanted to make sure I knew how to defeat this mob area before I moved on, and by doing that, I was able to level up. I didn't know I was leveling up. I didn't know I was getting crazy amounts of runes when I did it. So whenever I went to level up and then I went to go fight Margit, I was already pretty strong when I fought Margit. So I was basically power leveling myself before I got to the first boss. So essentially, if you're having hard to, don't beat yourself. Listen, don't beat yourself up off of this first boss. It's not worth it. This boss should take you an hour tops. If you're spending more than an hour on this boss, go and level up, dude. Just go and level up and defeat the boss because it's not worth it. There's so much more in this game that is going to bring you real stress to not stress out over this first boss, which is no stress at all. All right? All right, so that's going to be it for the first 6, 7, 8 things that you should do when you start this game. If this video was helpful to you, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you have a question, let me know down in the comments. And also check out some more of my Elden Ring guides, because I have videos for literally everything that you need in the game. Literally everything. All right, so I'll catch you next time. And I hope this helps. Peace out.